We're going to get started now on modeling some Fallout props. But just before I do that, I just wanted to show you on the Zero Bio Patron here, you can come over and there's lots of stuff here that you can grab, whether it's Blender files and models, subs and painter stuff. And I just want to show you right down here in the reference images, this stuff here, these are free. This is the image that I'm going to be using. All right, so if you just become a member, you can grab this. All right, so that is some stuff from the Zero Bio Patron, and hopefully you'll check it out and consider becoming a member. And here we are over here in Blender, and I've already brought in the reference image, and I pressed S3 to scale it 3 times, and I moved it back along the y-axis just so it's not in the way. And I've also roughly centered it up so that my 3D cursor is here. And the way you do that is just select it and press G, and you can move it. Okay, so we're going to start on modeling this Fallout 4 microphone, and then I'll do the speaker. All right, it's pretty easy to do, so yeah, let's just get going on this. So zoom in and then press Shift A, Mesh, Cylinder, and I'm going to leave the default values here, 32 vertices, and I'm going to go into this, press Tab and Z for wireframe. And I can already see that my reference image is not quite centered on the cylinder, so I'm going to select it, and in wireframe for my cylinder I'm going to press GX, and I'm just going to move it a little bit so that it's pretty much balanced. And I'm going to select my cylinder again, go into edit mode and S to scale, and just get it a little bit more exact. Okay, now I'm in vertex selection number 1. I like to work on that because then I can see the dots very easily. I'm going to press B and border select the bottom and pull it up to the bottom of the microphone. Alt A, deselect, and you can either just press B or you can just drag a rectangle around. And I'm going to move this right to here. And we'll work on this part later. So we have that there. And don't worry if you're a little bit off the diagram. It's not going to be perfect. So E to extrude and pull up to here, S to scale, and just move your mouse in till it pretty much approximates that angle there. With it still selected, I'm going to press E to extrude again, pull up to here this time, S to scale, until the dots pretty much line up along here. Now there's a curve here, so I'm going to press Control R, click, that's going to add a loop cut. Then I'm going to press S to scale and just pull it in a little bit better. This is a little bit abrupt, so I'm going to press 2 for edge selection, Shift and Alt this edge, that'll go all the way around. Press 1 to look from the front, and then Control B to bevel and pull it out like that, and then roll your mouse up, you know, a couple times, 2 or 3 or whatever you need to get a nice curve going there. Let's just have a look at that. Now this edge may not actually be necessary, so I'm going to press 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click, and let's try dissolving it. X, dissolve edges. And then it pops out, well, it might actually have been a little bit necessary. So what I'll do is I'm just going to press S to scale, hold Shift, just pull it out a little bit more so it's a bit more of a gradual going up. Okay, Shift Alt and click that edge there, and we'll do the next part. For this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to wireframe, N1, yeah, there we go. E to extrude, I'm going to pull up, and I'm going to scale out. And the diagram's a little fuzzy, so don't worry about that. This was my last edge, and I just pulled up on an angle. Now I'm zooming out a bit, E to extrude, pull up. I'm going to pull up until I get to this line here. And I'm going to have my edge roughly in the middle. We'll come back to that. Press E to extrude and do the same thing with this one, just right to the middle. Something like that. E to extrude, come up to here. Now we're going to press E and S and pull in. And this is why I really like to do this in vertex mode. I can see my dots and I can see the diameter of this. E to extrude, come up to here. E to extrude, pull up to here, S to scale, angle it in like that. E to extrude and just pull right up into the head. Don't go into there, you don't have to go that far, just something like that. Okay, now let's go back into solid views, view, press Z and solid. And we don't need this top face, so press 3 X faces. And we're done the bottom part, almost. Not quite. Oh. Look from front view and wireframe. And I'm going to go back into 1. I'm going to drag an edge loop, Control R, and just drag with my mouse to there. Control R, click, drag with my mouse to there. And now I have those edges in there. I'm going to press 3 for face selection and go back into solid view. And this is what I have. 3 in solid view. Click on one of these lines while pressing Alt and Shift. Like that. Now I'm going to press E, left click, Alt S, hold Shift and push. And just make it come out a little bit like that. Okay, now it's time to do some beveling. 2 for edge selection. First of all, actually, let's get rid of this bottom face. I selected that face in face selection. X faces, get rid of it. You don't need that. 2 for edge selection, and I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and click, Shift and Alt and click. And we're going to bevel, zoom in nice and close. In fact, we might as well do this. Shift and Alt and click that one and the one under here, Shift and Alt. So all 4 of those edges are selected. Zoom in, press Control B, hold Shift and pull, and roll your mouse back till you have 2 edges going around, and then roll it up 1 more for a total of 3. And make it nice and small so it's a sharp bevel. Shift Alt and click this one, Control B, pull. Okay, we're going to make our way up. These 2 edges, Shift Alt and click, Shift Alt and click, Control B, pull. Again with 3, moving up. We'll come to these later on. Shift Alt and click, Shift Alt and click, Control B. This one here and this one here, Shift Alt and click and bevel. That's that. And now we're going to Shift Alt and click this and this, but let's look from the front by pressing 1, go into wireframe. And now let's use Control B, hold Shift and pull until you get to the size of those splits that you want. Roll your mouse back. We don't want 3, we want 2 like that. And when I say 2, I mean going around. I'm not talking about the vertical. With that done, you're going to press E, left click, Alt S, and pull to pull it in. Something like that. Don't go all the way to the middle or anything. Go back to solid view, and this is what we have. We now need to bevel. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click, Shift Alt and click. The inner one, Shift Alt and click, Shift Alt and click, and repeat down here. This, and this. Zoom in, Control B, pull, but I'm going to have 3, so roll your mouse up 1 there. We can shade smooth now, and we have this. Now, we may need a couple more edge loops to just finish this up. So I'm actually going to put edge loops inside here, so Control R, drag one up and down. I'm just getting a little bit more. Drag one up and down. And because this is a long distance, I might consider another edge loop here, in there, another edge loop here and here, and you can see the shading sort of even out here and here. That's probably all we need. Just looking at this part here, and I'm thinking, here's what I want to do. I'm going to press G twice. That's for edge slide. I'm going to slide this edge a little bit away from this. Let's try this. G. Just slide it up a little bit, get it out of the way. I think that smoothed that out a little bit. And I might take this one and press GG and slide it away just a little bit. Now I've got the cavity shader on, and sometimes you get some weird effects. Let's also check and see that this is not flipped by coming to the overlays, face orientation. It's blue here, it's red inside, but we'll never see that. Red in the bottom, that doesn't matter. All right, cool. So far so good. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this part of the microphone. And to do that, we're going to use a circle from here. So 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click, something like that one. You could choose any one really. Just make sure you don't have more than one selected like me. Shift Alt and click, and you can tell if your gizmo is on the edge. Okay, with that done, press Shift D to duplicate, pull it up to around the middle, press S to scale, and try to get it the same size as that, roughly there. But let's break it out. It's still part of this model. P to break it out. Select it in edit mode and then rotate X 90 to do that. And it's pretty much the same size, so that's good. Now, I want to get the width of this more properly, so I'm actually going to drag it over here. Something like that. And then I'm going to rotate it in the Z, RZ 90. And now it's facing that way. I'm going to pull it to the end. I might make it ever so slightly bigger. I'm going to press E to extrude, and I'm going to pull out until I hit the end of that. Now I'm not in wireframe, so I can do that. Just to about there. Right around there. Then I'm going to Control R and drop an edge loop here. Control R and drag and drop an edge loop there. Now you can get them a little bit more exact if you need to, but I'm not going to worry about it. So this is what we have. 3 for face selection. Shift Alt and click there. And let's indent this a bit. E, Alt S, and pull. And don't pull it down like that much. Just pull it down, you know, something like that. So you have a little space on each side. Okay, next. 2 for edge selection. Shift Alt and click. Just F to make a face. Shift Alt and click here. We'll work on that actually in a minute. So let's do some beveling. Shift Alt and click this, 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 and this. And let's bevel those with 3. Control B, pull. Roll back if you're not sure. There's 2, 3. I might as well do this back one. Shift Alt and click, Control B. That can be a little bit bigger because it's the back of it. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to go back into edit mode and select it, and I'm going to move it back here. I'm going to move it back roughly into the middle of the stem here, or the stalk, or whatever. And I'm going to rotate Z minus 90 so it faces the front. And it's not quite centered, but you can see this is the middle line. So I'm going to press GX and hold Shift and sort of pull it so that it looks like it's pretty centered. And I'm actually looking at this one and just comparing how much is on each side. And we'll get it as good as we can. Now I'm turning to the side because the stem doesn't quite fit, so press 3 for face selection. And this is the Y direction. Let's try GY and see if we can get that right in the middle. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to come in here, deselect, 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click that. Look from the front and go into wireframe. And press E and S, and I'm going to pull in to that position. See this line going around. Go back into solid view. Press E, left click, and just pull it in a little bit because we're going to put something in front. All right, time to do a little bit more beveling. I think we have this edge, and is that it to bevel? Looks like it. Control B and pull with 3. We can try shade smooth and see how she looks. I might decide to put another edge loop or 2 in here. Control R and drag it over here. Control R and drag it over there. And I think that looks pretty good. What we'll do is we're going to need to bring our 3D cursor there. So it's just A to select the whole thing is fine. And Shift S, cursor to select it. Bring my 3D cursor there. With my 3D cursor there now, I'm going to press Shift A, Mesh, UV Sphere, and I'm going to open this up and I'm going to change the segments to 16. You could probably even go lower, but I'll do that. And then I'm going to rotate X 90 so it faces forward and press 3 to look from the side. Scale it down. We'll get it to fit in a bit. Go into wireframe, 1 for vertex selection and Alt A to deselect. Order select all this back, X vertices. So we only have the front half now. Press SY and we'll flatten it out, but keep some curve. Not too much, but something like that. Let's pull it back in. Z, go back into solid view, shade smooth, and if you don't like this sort of notchy look on this thing, we can press Control 1, which is the same as coming to the wrench and adding 1 subdivision, going, generate subdivision surface, a subdivision surface of just 1 here. All right, so that's fine like that. And to do this, I'm actually going to apply apply that. And that'll give us this pattern, but that should be just fine for this. It's a little smoother now. Double check that it's facing the right way, and it is. And I'm actually going to take this and this, and I'm going to join them together. Now, you don't have to join stuff at this point, but I think I will. I don't know why, I just like to do that. Okay, so we have this. We have just a couple more parts. We've got this part here. So to build this stick part here, I'm going to deselect everything else, press 3 for face selection, and Shift Alt and click there to get all of this. Shift D to duplicate and pull it out, and then S to scale, and try to match the diameter of this pole here. I'm going to break it out from this object by pressing P and doing that. 1 for vertex selection, border select the bottom, and pull it all the way into the base, like that. Border select the top, and you can see how high it goes up here. It's a little hard to get it exact. We don't have to worry yet. We'll work on that in a bit. So we have this piece here, and it's not going to stay here because it's going to be in behind. So I'm going to take this, go back into edit mode, pull it back until it's not touching the head of the microphone, so somewhere around there. Okay, we can leave it there for the moment. Let's do this piece. So now with my 3D cursor there, I'm going to bring in a cube, scale it down a bit, pull it over, go into wireframe, and just keep scaling. You can press G. I'm going to line it up actually here, and then I can grab these, pull them over. I can grab these, pull them up. That's the basicness of it all. It's in the wrong position though, so we're going to slide it over, and it's going to be in the back actually, so I'm going to pull it out. And I think it's actually going to be too thick this way, so I'm going to scale it in the Y like this. We're going to have it against, but first we're going to get rid of that back face. So 3 for face selection, select that face and get rid of it. And then let's see if we are going to like this. It's actually going to go over a little bit on the side like that. And you can see that the post here goes into it, so that's good. So let's just do some beveling. 2 for edge selection, select this, hold shift and that, hold shift and that, shift and that. And let's bevel it with 3, Control B, pull. And if we have 3 edges, we're good. And then Shift Alt and click there, Control B. Don't pull too much so that the vertices start overlapping. Just something like that. We can shade smooth. I might pull it in a little bit. As long as the post is in there, yes. Okay, so this and this are going to be joined, and I'm going to actually join it to the head unit. So far it's all joined, but let's just quickly have a look at this. Okay, it's all blue, so that's good. Great. Okay, there's one more piece to make. That's this little clip that holds that bar thing, and we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll grab a circle. So 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click there, Shift D to duplicate, pull it out, so it's right there, P to break it out, and I'm going to look from the top, and in wireframe I guess, and it's not quite where we want it, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to move this towards the back. It probably would have been nice if I selected the circle and brought it straight back, but it doesn't really matter. Scale it down a bit. Get rid of these vertices, so border select them, get rid of those, take this vertex and this one, E to extrude, pull them down a little bit, and S to scale them in a bit. Take the whole thing and scale it down a little bit. Sort of bring it, it's going to fit in there. What's going to happen is we're going to rotate it around till it's around there. So we could actually do that now. Here's the way we're going to do this. We need to select something that's very central, like 3 for face selection, Shift Alt and click. Select those and go Shift S, cursor selected. 3D cursor is right there. So now we can take this. I'll go back into wireframe. Just want to have that selected. 3D cursor is right there. Switch this to 3D cursor. Go into edit mode and just go R. Now, I want this tilted so that the bar is underneath it. So I need to do some movement. So now I'm going to select these and I'm going to switch this back to median point, and I'm going to try normal. Now that didn't work, so watch this though. I'm going to press F to make a face, and the arrows have changed, but something went wrong. I need to select it all. F to make a face. Look from the top, and the arrows have changed, and now I can move this on its normal, so we can encompass that. I can even scale it down. I can press G, I can move it. I can take these and pull them into the main bar. I can even scale it in a little bit. And I have something like this. That's not the final position yet, but let's go ahead and do that. So it's down here, so I'm going to pull it down. And don't worry if it doesn't quite fit. Let's see if there's anything we can do about that to make it a bit bigger. Before I do that, I'm going to make it thicker. E to extrude and pull it up. And now I'm just going to just move it by hand. All right, like that. So there's that piece. I might scale this in the X, just scale it a bit bigger, just do whatever you think looks good. So slash key to focus on this. Let's select this face, X faces, select this face and this face, and bevel, Control B with 3, shade smooth. Let's go back to global, slash key to bring that back. And I think I like it, so I'm going to just take this and Control J and double check everybody's facing the right way. Because I've joined everything, I'm going to select it all, go A to select everything, and M merge by distance, just in case there are any stray vertices, and there aren't. And there's the microphone done. And that was actually the harder part. Now you will see some circles on here. I just put them there for fun. I'm going to do that in texture, all the bullets and the texturing and stuff like that. But there's the basic microphone. And now we're going to do the speaker, and that's very, very simple to do. My 3D cursor's there, but that's no problem. We're going to start with this one here. I'm going to bring in you can bring in a cube, but I'm going to use a plane. I'm just going to press G and pull it over, and S to scale, and start trying to get the approximate size of this. I'm going to rotate X 90 and go into wireframe and just look at that, and that's pretty good, and it doesn't even have to be perfect. Something like this, but as you can see, the corners are rounded, so press 1 for vertex selection and Shift Control B, not just Control B, Shift Control B. Hold Shift and pull, or you can not hold Shift at all if you want. I'm just going to do that. It's a little bit hard to see. Now there's only 3 vertices in that. Here, let me come in close and just do 1, because all the other ones will be the same. Shift Control B. I am going to hold Shift. You see there's 3 vertices there. I'm going to roll my mouse up so I have 5, and I think that is round enough. Okay, this is what I have. I'm going to give it some depth, E to extrude and pull it back. Let's go back into solid view. We don't know how far to go yet though, so let's take this and let's use this one. Rotate Z 90, slide it over here, go into wireframe, border select the back, and come to there. And that's pretty close to the diagram. Now the only thing is it may be flipped, so we can either look at that or just go ahead and flip it. Just go Alt N, recalculate outside. So that's done. Let's now use this diagram to get the rest of it. I'm just going to do that. Okay. So to do this next part, Control R. You can drop one right in the middle actually, and Control R and drop one right in the middle. 2 for edge selection. Shift Alt and click both of them, and then Control B to bevel, pull, but roll back so you just have 2 vertical edges. Do something like that, and then E and Alt S and pull down till it matches the diagram pretty good. And this is what we have. So let's do some beveling now. 2 for edge selection. Shift Alt and click all of these edges. Just like that. Control B and pull, but we want 3 in there. Okay, so far so good. Let's assume this is the back. In the back, I'm not going to do any details. I'm just going to select it and Control B. I'll just give it a slightly bigger bevel. You could roll your mouse up and get 5 edges if you want to make it really smooth. Let's take this now and rotate Z minus 90 so it faces the front. Pull it back to here, and it'll roughly match. We may be off a little bit. Okay, it's a little bit hard to tell. I'm going to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to select this front, and it is hard to tell, but I'm going to press I to inset and pull it in until it comes down this amount, that thickness. See what we've got there. And then I'm going to extrude back, and I'm going to be using this to do the dots. The thing is, I don't want to go back here past there, depending on how deep this cut went in, but it doesn't seem to be affecting this. So I'm just going to pull it back some ways like that. And finally, we're going to select these two edges and bevel them. Control B and pull, but I just want the 3. Let's try shade smooth. Now it doesn't look right yet, so we're going to come in here, and I'm going to try, let's bevel. Shift Alt and click that edge, and Control B and pull with 3, right? Okay. Now there still may be things we can do. I'm going to drag an edge loop in here. Another one, we can use weighted normals, which I might. This is maybe overkill on the edges. So I probably didn't need those, but I'm going to come over here to the modifiers, choose normal, weighted normal, and you can see it shifted it. And let's double check that it is facing the right way, and it is. And that is that. And I don't need the reference image anymore, so I'm going to delete it so it doesn't distract us. And I can take this one and set the origin to the geometry, so the gizmo is there. And this one, whatever. Now, when I bring these into Substance Painter, I don't want them too close, or you're going to get an ambient occlusion effect, but we'll deal with that later. For now, we have modeled what we need, and if that's all you want to do and all you can do, you can then shut these off, make sure you save your file. You can come over here, turn on the shadow, and you can find a matte cap that works well for your models. I just happen to like that one because it's shiny and kind of neat. And you can take a screenshot, or you can come here and go view, viewport render image, and you'll get something, and you can still showcase your work. But like I say, we are going to go on and unwrap and texture these. But for now, we're going to leave it at that. Like I say, also at the end of the series, probably just one more video to texture these, unless I have to do a separate one for each. The models and the Substance Painter file will be on the Patreon for you patrons. And that is going to be it. Whether there's any touch-up I want to do, we'll see. But we'll leave that for the next video as well. But that's it. Some simple modeling, and it looks real cool. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.